What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another video. First, I want to say thank you for clicking the video. If you haven't seen one of my videos before and it's your first time joining us, thank you. Welcome to Heart and Hustle Printing. For those of you who are subscribed to my channel, thank you for watching another one of my videos. Today, we are going to be pressing 9 t-shirts, and we are going to be putting this image right here, and I'm going to be using ThermoFLex Plus for this right here, for these shirts. BFlex America hasn't messaged me back that they have black yet, so as soon as they do, I'm gonna pick some up and do some shirts with it because I'm willing to try it out. Because on this video with these, we're gonna be doing a chest piece, we're gonna be doing a flag again, and we're gonna be doing a back piece. So right now, as you can see, I am wearing my Dallas Cowboy hoodie, right? This is in support of the military. A lot of people in my last video that I did the 80 shirts in 20 minutes or 5 days, had a lot of comments saying that I put the flag on the wrong side. As you can see, with these sweaters that support the military, the flag is inverted on the right side. That's the only reason I wore it. I just wanted to show everybody. This is shown all over TV all the time. And nobody ever said anything about that until I put my video out and said I had put it on the wrong side. You can see this side has the Nike, this side has the American flag, which is inverted for the military. So hopefully you learned something that you didn't know about the flag being on the right side. So the last time I did the 80 shirts, I weeded 80 flags and a whole bunch of stars. My buddy Big Will, one of my subscribers, he emailed me an SVG file of the flag inverted to where you don't have to weed out the stars, you weed out everything around it. So I'm going to give that one a try this time, and I'm pretty sure it's going to save me a lot of time. But this time I'm only doing 9 shirts, so I appreciate you, Big Will. Thank you for sending me that SVG file. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to load this 15-inch piece of vinyl in there. You can see it's got these rollers right here, these stoppers. Keep this from moving side to side while it's moving. So basically, gonna move them, spread them out. I'm going to load my vinyl right here. Then I will go ahead and grab this one, lock it into place, tighten it. Do the same thing with the other side here. Slide it in, tighten it. Now it's not gonna move nowhere, and it's right there where we need it. All right, so now we're in the front of the cutter. As you can see here, we got this long one, like I told you last time. This one's basically for 12, 15, 24. So what we're going to do now is we're going to load a 15-inch piece in. I want to say thank you to Jose Hernandez. He sent me a link on YouTube on how to change the name on the presets. I haven't done it yet. I watched the video. I got to go up to the attic, pull out the box, and pull out the disc again so I can find it. But hey, I appreciate that. If you're watching, thank you. Let's go ahead and start with this. You see, I'm using LXI 12, the Expert Edition. If you're using anything other than the Expert Edition, you might be missing some of the functions that mine have. You could probably go on, like I said before, you could probably go on signwarehouse.com, look them up. They have some software that you can get on there, and they will give it to you. You can download it for free. I'm not sure which one it is, so don't take my word for it, but check it out, give it a try. So remember, we're not cutting a sticker, we're actually cutting a vinyl for a t-shirt. So don't forget to mirror or flip your image. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to come here, I'm going to flip it. Everything else here looks good. We're set to the R Series 2. As we know, that's the wrong one. So we have to come in here. Come in there and click the actual QE6000. So we're good to go. We're only going to do one. We're going to cut one, weed it, and see how it looks. So let's send it. Vinyl looks a little crooked on the bottom. I guess when I cut the last one, I cut it crooked. I know it's not feeding sideways because I set everything up right. So I'm pretty sure it's just a crooked cut that I did. Once I get this piece cut, I'm going to cut it again, and these pieces here are probably going to take a while because it has like a lot of names in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to speed through this process of cutting them so that I can start weeding them and you can check it out. All right, so here's our first piece. Now we're going to weed it, but first I'm going to take off some of this stuff that I could save. Alright, so we're going to start weeding this, see how easy it weeds, or see how tough it is. We'll do this first one. If everything on here looks good, I'll start pressing the other ones. Like I said, I always do one first. If it looks good, I'll press the others just so that, just in case, you never know. You know, we always have fears of putting the wrong letter. Weed it. Make sure everything is right before we press more. I mean, before we cut more than one. So this one has a flag in it. We're gonna get to the flag in a minute. I usually don't show you how I weed the flags because I was doing it the opposite way, where I was weeding out these stars. This time, like I said, Big Will sent me an SVG file. Told me to give it a try. See, maybe he can make my life a little easier. It's the chest piece. So these are a bunch of little letters right here, as you can see as I'm weeding it. You just want to be careful because depending on the type of cutter you have, you might not be able to weed them too fast. But as you can see, with this cutter, this new cutter that I got from Sign Warehouse, doesn't look like I'm gonna have that problem anymore. I got the right pressure on there. It's not cutting through the backing, or they call it the carrier. It's not cutting through the carrier. And as you can see, I'm just pulling it apart. This ThermoFLex Plus, you can see the pretty tough stuff is weeding pretty good. So another thing I like to do is whenever I weed my letters, I like to go from the left to the right, because if you see right here, as I'm weeding, let's see, let me find one with an E right here. So if you look at this name right here, it's coming to an E, and as I'm weeding it, see that? It just pulls it right out of the E. If I were to go the opposite way, I would then have to pull the weed tool to pull that out. So I always try to go, if you look here with the S, see how it just pulls out the E? If I went the other way, I'd have to use the pick to probably pull it out. It's coming to the F with the bomb. See how it's trying to pull that V out right there? And it's not pulling it. This guy gave it a little tug, but see how the V is? But if I pull it like this, you're going to see it just pulls them right out. Make sure I weed these right ones. I haven't done this one yet. I almost weeded... I almost weeded the wrong part. So here we go. Beautiful. See if it'll focus. There it is. So with the QA6000 from Sign Warehouse, That thing has some nice quality cuts. So as you can see, this thing actually looks pretty good. I have no complaints. Big wheel saved me a lot of time with this flag right here. So I appreciate it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead, set the next one up to cut. While that one's cutting, I'm going to weed all this little stuff out. By the time I finish this, that will be done. We can just keep going. So I'm not going to bore you. All right, so this is the last piece we have right here. We're going to weed it and we'll be done with all 9 pieces. And all we'll have to do is separate the chest piece and the flag from this carrier, and we will be able to get ready to heat press it. Alright, so I went in here and I cut all the flags and the chest pieces out. So all of them are done. All we gotta do is get ready to heat press them. So what I do, because if you have different sizes, if you cut different sizes, once you cut these out, just stick them on here so that you don't press this on a small shirt, or this is going on an X large or a 2X large. You don't want to put this on a small shirt because then it's going to look too big. So what we're going to do now is we're going to warm up the heat press, and then we'll press these. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the chest piece. This is going to be a piece that goes right here. We are going to use the logo it. Carlos Gonzalez got the confirmation that your logo it got delivered from when I did my first giveaway. So I hope you're enjoying it. Okay, so this is where I like to, when I put the logo it on here, I like to line it up about right there. I follow the seam of the shirt or the collar of the shirt right here, and I'll bring it down this little circle to this piece of the collar right here. So I'll put it there, I'll center it to where I think it's centered, and then I'll grab this piece right here. And then I usually go off of this right here, and I bring it straight down. And that's where you want to center this off. You don't want to go too far over here or too far this way, because you don't want it in the middle of the shirt. You don't want to go too far this way because you don't want it to go underneath the armpit. So if you look here, it says center of apparel, which is right here. So we're going to go from here. We're going to go from this piece right here. I like to go from this right here and bring it down. Then you see right here, it says center up. Right here, it says center of apparel. So right here, we're going to go from the outside around 4.5, and we're going to come down. And I'll probably go to the 4-inch right here. So the 4.5 by the 4-inch. So I do the middle of this lined up with the 4.5. And then I'll bring this down to 4-inch. I'm trying to do this behind the camera, so it's a little bit harder, but so center it off there, 4.5-inch mark. Then we're going to go off the 4-inch mark here, go a little bit higher, and then we'll look at it. That looks good. Probably bring it in a little bit more. Right there. So this is where I'm going to put it. The 4.5-inch mark is about right here. And then we're going off the 4-inch here. Now, this is a small shirt. This is a small shirt. So we're going to go, that's where I'm going to put it on a small shirt. Once I get into the medium and the large, and then the X large, it's probably be moved a little bit, but not much. So we're going to press this one, and then we'll move on. So same thing here. Hold the edge of it. Pull it up. Drop it so that it stays right there in place. So what we're going to do now is we're going to give it a full press. We're not going to give it a half press or just a 3-second press. Full press. This is a hot peel, so you can peel it when it's warm or hot. All right, so there it is. The way I like to look to see if it pressed right is if you can see the actual garment through the vinyl here, you could tell that you got a good press. One of my subscribers was like, just give it a second press. just for security purposes. Sometimes I'll do that, sometimes I won't. This one feels pretty good. I can see the garment through here, so I'm not gonna give it another press. What we're gonna do now is, the reason I'm not gonna give it another press is because we're gonna be pressing the back in a minute. I don't want to overheat this. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the flags. So you know how I do the flags? I do them one at a time. I don't overdo them. I don't want to put. I had a subscriber say, why don't I just put a bunch of shirts all the way around here? I'd rather take my time, make sure I got them right, so I don't mess anything up. So what I do, I'll come in here and I'll lay the shirt out where I'm going to be putting it. Lay it out and I'll give it a crease. As you can see, we got the crease from here all the way down. This one, we'll just give it a quick press. All right, so I gave it a quick press. Now I'm going to get the whole shirt and I'm just going to drop it in the back here. As you can see, we have a crease in there. Let me show you something else. So underneath this pad right here is like, this is the pad that goes underneath carpets. This is what came with my heat press. So what I did when I'm not using it. So what I did, I cut a piece out about the same size of that. People were asking what I put inside of it. That's what I put inside the shirt right here to press these flags. So now what I do, I got the crease in there. Going to open it up. Grab this sponge, styrofoam, carpet, whatever you want to call it. Put it right there. You can go online. Sign Warehouse probably has them, where it's a pad like this, but it's actually sewed into the Teflon paper. It all depends on how you want to do it. If you want to buy these with it sewn inside, you could do that. This is the way I do it. I've always done it like that, so I just stuck with it. So now we know where the center of our crease is. Now we're going to get the flag, center the flag on this crease. Once we got it, tuck all this down. Then we're going to give it a full press. Alright, so it's a warm pill, like I always say. I just remind you. There's the flag. Let it zoom, let it focus. There it is. So there's the flag. I want to thank Big Will again. Appreciate it, buddy. This was a whole lot easier than the other ones I had. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to lay the shirt back on here, upside down. I always use this styrofoam thing. Y'all watching my videos, you know I use this. I've seen some other videos where they said to use it because what you don't want to do is you don't want to reheat this and then it starts pilling. So what I like to do is I like to put this I just found it at work. It probably came in a container that had something in it that they didn't want to break. They were throwing the container away, so I was like, I could use this. So I grabbed it, and this is what I use now. You could probably go to a hobby store or wherever. I'm pretty sure they have them there. The same thing, that big Teflon pillow, they call them, I guess, something like that. Teflon pillows. You could buy those. I've never used them, so I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to tell you if it's good or bad to use till I get it in. It probably would be a little bit easier to use because this Teflon paper slides real easy, so it doesn't stick to the garment or the t-shirt. But whenever I'm putting this in here, whenever I'm putting this foam insert that I got in there, it actually sticks to the shirt, so it's kind of hard to move it around. But once I got it in there, it's good to go. All right, so the good thing about this shirt is I can see the Gildan name through the shirt. So we're gonna match it up with the D, the edge of the D. This is a small shirt. And this one right here, this image that I made right here is actually, I made it only 10 inches. If you look at this, it might throw you off that it's crooked, but that's where the flag was at and the other piece. So don't pay attention to this, just focus on, because this sticks out more than this side. I know it could throw you off when you're getting ready to press it, but don't let it throw you off. We're gonna use a T-square to line this up. So from seam to seam is 16 inches. Got 8 on this side, 8 on this side. With the back of the t-shirt, I'm gonna come about 2.5, 3 inches down. So from here, we're gonna put this right there. Once I put it down, if I look here, and I look here, we're right outside of 4.5 inches. So that's gonna be perfect. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna press it down right here, fold it up with one hand, and let it flop. If you got some backing that is, the carrier is sticky, it might stick to it. ThermoFLex Plus is not stick. It doesn't have a really sticky back. The logical white pill that I got from Sign Warehouse wasn't that sticky either. And the B-Flex also didn't, the B-Flex and the Gimme 5 that I got from B-Flex didn't have that bad of a sticky carrier. No. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is you just want to look at your image. You just want to verify one more time before you press that you don't have nothing in there. I had a piece right here. I don't need this. I'm just going to do it without it. It's just a habit that I have. It's just a habit that I have to always use the Teflon paper. It's just a habit that I've gotten used to. But like my subscriber said, you don't need it because the backing will protect the vinyl when you're pressing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to press it. We're going to give it a full press. Alright, so again, one peel. And there it is. I usually look. Again, I verify. I can see I can see the t-shirt through the vinyl. And when you have that, you know you got a good press. This looks good. We're going to go ahead. We're going to start on the next one. All right, I showed you how I did the first t-shirt. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to keep pressing. I'm going to get these done. And I'll show you how they look when we're done. Right, so we pressed all 9 shirts. We got them done. The only thing I didn't get to do was press the last shirt. I ran out of memory on my phone, so I had to dump everything onto my computer. But I just want to say that whenever I started, I showed you that with the logo, we went 4 inches. We went over 4 inches, and then I went down to about 4.5, 4 inches. And then as that was for small, and then for medium, I did the same thing. And then when I got to large, I went out to almost around 5 inches because the neck gets a little bit bigger. So like I said, I always like to put it about right here and then measure where you're at up here. And then for the last one, the XXL large, I was almost at 5.5 inches. So the bigger the shirt, you're going to have to move it out farther. But what you don't want to do is move it too far out, and then the logo will be underneath the chest piece that you put. You don't want it to fold underneath your shirt. So underneath your arm. So make sure that if you don't have one of these, try to use what you can. So let's take a look at these shirts. Here's the front of it. And then here's the flag on the right arm. They weeded pretty good. They weeded easy. And then here's the back of the shirt. And like I said, when you're pressing your shirt, always look at it. You should always be able to see. If you look at the shirt real close, you can see like the way it is, the way it's stitched, or the way the fabric, the lines run up and down or left and right. You should always be able to see what you've pressed through your vinyl. Unless you're using something that's thicker like glitter, you won't be able to see it. But other than that, whatever you press, if you're not using something that's super thick, you should be able to see the vinyl right through it. If you look at this, these names on here, the cutter actually cut these names amazing. I didn't have no problems. Y'all saw when I was weeding them. You saw when I was weeding them, I was just able to pull it. I was able to just pull the vinyl that I was using, and I had no problem. I think one of the P's came off one of the time, and then I couldn't find it, so I just went back, recut it, just the letter P, and then put it on there. I just want to say thank you for watching my video. Whatever time of the day it is for you, appreciate it for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. Thank you to all my subscribers. If you're new to my channel, hey, welcome to the Heart and Hustle Printing family. I documented my journey of this from the day that I got my heat press. If you go back to the beginning of my videos, you'll see the day that I got it. I unboxed it. I had a bunch of vinyl that I was opening up to. So you can see my journey. It's going to be January 12th is going to be 1 year that I've been doing this. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who watches, for all the nice comments. When you message me on Facebook privately and you're just like, hey, I love your videos, or thank you for helping me. I've motivated you to start your own business, whatever I've done. Thank you for watching and giving me the opportunity to help you become hopefully successful in this. And like I always say, until next time, keep pressing.